Well, hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of Transportation Talks. I'm your host, Nicholas Robb, and today I have a special guest, Anna Nissinen from the Fairfax County Economic Development Authority, who's the Senior Vice President there. She was actually previously here with the Department of Transportation, and then has gone on to the Economic Development Authority. And I'll kind of let you, I guess, give a little bit of background about yourself,
Sure.
What you do.
Well, Nicholas, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be back in transportation. I think I left my heart here, but I'm excited to talk about how economic development and transportation really are one. I don't actually separate them. And it's been exciting for me to be in my new role at the Fairfax County Economic Development Authority, overseeing all of our business investment programming nationally and internationally, as well as marketing and communications, and really being able to sell what has been built here over the several decades, and when it comes to transportation infrastructure and transit, and see how it comes to life with new business investment and talent moving into the region.
That's awesome. So
Yep.
can you, I guess, go in a little bit more about your background? Like what kind of led you to this role?
So I actually started my career in the diplomatic community in downtown D.C. I worked at the Finnish embassy right out of college. I'm originally from Europe, so I got into the kind of the international game early on, and part of my job, my first job, was to attract foreign business investment from the United States to Finland.
Oh, okay.
So I've kind of been
You've
in
gone
this.
full circle.
Yeah, it's a full circle. So after that, I got into local government here in Fairfax County and Loudoun County, governments, and just being really into building community in our region my entire career, when it comes to communications and marketing, transportation, economic development, human services. I worked on the Fairfax County 10-year plan to prevent and end homelessness earlier on in my career. So I'm very passionate about building where I live and building a future for my two daughters. And this is kind of like a full circle for me being here with you today.
Oh, that's awesome. So like they're kind of focusing on this area and too, like with people coming to Fairfax for the first time. If you were to meet someone who's just come to the region for the first time, like where's one of the places you would take them to kind of show off what this region is? Like when you think of the county, I guess, like some of the special things about it, I guess.
So this is an interesting question because I have lots of people coming here from Europe
Yeah.
who have never been in this, they might have been in D.C. downtown, but they haven't been in Virginia or Maryland or in this region in general. They might have been on the West Coast too. And as to somebody from Europe originally, what I love to showcase is how you can have it all here. It is not just a seat of power. It is not just a seat of influence. Where I live in Loudoun County, there are mountains. I can go home and relax with the view of Blue Ridge Mountains. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I can take a quick trip on the toll road or take the Metro Rail from Loudoun to Tysons to go to work, where I'm in the middle of Fortune 500s. I obviously go showcase that. I can go a little bit further in Tysons and go to the Capital One Center and go see a Broadway show. It's just incredible, public-private partnership. I can go and walk around in that campus and, have Thai food or have, American, Asian fusion. And it's just like, the world is at your feet. And then we take the Metro and go downtown D.C. and then possibly take some travel in Maryland, go to Annapolis on the ocean and just see the culture there. And it is incredible kind of to see the entire America in one place and have the international connections.
I think that's what's so cool about this area too, is just the cultural diversity of it.
Yes.
Like having grown up out west, a little, not that far west, but over the Blue Ridge Mountain, and then coming out here and working, it's just like, wow, there's just so many different types of people and like the food and like just everything. It's like the events, the cultural events and stuff. It's really neat.
Yeah.
Awesome. So. I guess, so having worked in transportation and economic development, how do you, I guess, see these two areas intersecting in the future?
So I would say, like I said earlier, is that really transportation is economic development. Economic development is transportation. So they're really one. So part of economic development is building community, building place, making sure that we have the infrastructure and investment in place so that not only businesses but people can thrive. to build the economic base for the community to enjoy, and making sure that we have enough tax revenue to pay for our incredible schools and incredible infrastructure. So, what Fairfax County has done so incredibly well is execute on a vision. 70 plus years ago, someone in this region had a vision of the Dallas International Airport in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And now today we have Silver Line extension going through there to, bring our international visitors and businesses access to the globe. We have infrastructure here, connecting our region and making sure that our businesses are able to access the talent they need, which is the hot topic of today. You need the top talent because there's not enough. So, that's what we have today. And I think in the future, really looking at transportation and any kind of infrastructure and services that you have in place in your community, they're intertwined in our community today, but building into the future, making sure that people understand and companies understand there's an economic impact that they bring to the community, and getting investment brought here. It's a competitive advantage. So they're very much intertwined. And if we don't continue to invest in infrastructure when it comes to transportation, digital infrastructure, the internet was invented here.
Right.
Our school systems, we will not have that investment coming in. So it's all intertwined, and I'm excited about even a closer collaboration and looking at them in that context.
That's a good point. It's kind of circular in that sense. Like it's feeding off each other. You have better infrastructure, more investment that feeds back into itself as well.
That's
and
exactly
it
right.
kind of benefits everyone.
Yeah.
In a sense. I guess still kind of focusing on transportation a little bit in your time when you were working here. Like how did your time here with the Department of Transportation kind of shape how you approach work with businesses?
So what I've learned in my time in kind of the community building, I take my entire career being in community building, transportation being very specific to something that's just absolutely vital to communities.
Right.
You see that if you don't have good infrastructure, you do not have investment coming in. You do not have new people moving in. You do not have new talent for your companies. So I was very fortunate to work on big projects here, be part of, the Silver Line extension to the, Dallas Airport, the I-66 express lanes, and a lot of pedestrian and bike infrastructure improvements, the capital bike share expansion in Fairfax County. And, you have to listen deeply when you are building infrastructure like that will benefit the end user. So what I learned is that, not only for residents here and people who live here to understand what they need, you have to do the same thing with businesses. You have to listen deeply. You have to solve their problem. You have to decrease their barriers to growth and success, just like we're trying to do for our members of our community who are residents and people coming in, visitors. So I was in the trenches, in the community, in community meetings, in a lot of day-to-day, conversations, not only businesses, but community members. And so that's what I take with me when I talk to a Fortune 500 CEO or if I talk to a founder. Because I need to understand what they need. Our teams need to understand what they need to succeed. If that's not here and we can't provide that for them, we are happy for them to be somewhere else. But most often than not, we're able to provide it here because we have all the community partners working together, our government working together with us to make sure that those barriers are lowered for businesses to succeed and grow here.
Right. I like what you touched on there too about just because you have to really be a part of the culture and be knowing exactly what's going on. And when, we were chatting before this with some of your previous coworkers and stuff, and you had mentioned like there's a business who needs a crosswalk for their employees, for example. It's like you need to talk to them and get to know, like what are their needs and what's going to help, their employees and stuff.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So I guess what other ways in regards to transportation can you think the county can kind of help to appeal to local residents, even commuters and companies as well?
So what I would say is, and I think I mentioned this earlier, is that our infrastructure, our transportation and transit infrastructure, all the mobility solutions that we have built here in the county, they're already part of the fabric of what this community is. And it is one of the the top competitive advantages that we as economic developers are able to sell as part of our community's value proposition to companies, but also the talent, for people to stay here, for the kids to stay here after they graduate from college, and new talent to come in here so that they can thrive. Not only businesses to thrive, but the people as well, because the businesses won't come if you don't have the people to do the work. So it's really baked in there, and I think where the county, you were kind of talking about what the county can do outside of the Economic Development Authority, is to tell that story of value. For businesses, transportation infrastructure and transit and mobility solutions are access to markets. It's access to potential, access to growth.
Right.
For people, it's about choice. I'm so proud of this community for providing choice in multiple ways for people. And this is choice by, you want to take your car and go on hot lanes, go do that. You want to take, the bus to the metro and go, chill out there and, do part of your work that way and then go to the office, go do that. You want to live in Reston and take the, bike share and go to work that way. Go do that. It's your choice. And so, and for residents, it's just access to life. I mean, we have an incredible array of things to do here and experience, and it's baked in, and I don't think that story is told in the biggest possible way. And we're excited to help do that.
That's a good point. Yeah. Like it's also playing off the whole diversity, culturally throughout this region too, and just providing. And I think that's what I've always appreciated since I've been here with the county, is just the ability to provide options to people, specifically to get to work. Like, I'm part of the Fairfax County Commuter Services team, and the logo, as you can see, it's your ride, your way. So it's just offering those options to people. It's not like, oh, you need to take carpool, you need to take van pool. It's like, hey, like you go to a business and you're like, hey, what works best for you, and how can we help you? Because this interesting point, though, what you're saying too, is just getting that message out there more as a jurisdiction, and to let people know that those options are available.
And we're excited to partner with you on that, because when we meet with companies, when we market across the nation, market across the globe, literally, that's the story we tell, and we customize it to who we're talking to.
Right, exactly.
And so, we not only have diverse people from diverse backgrounds, diverse places, diverse languages, we have diversity of thought here.
Yeah,
which
exactly.
is another huge competitive advantage. And, that sometimes plays into it. So it's a deep thing to start marketing something as impactful as we have here when it comes to our connectivity and mobility solutions and infrastructure.
Right, and I think you need that diversity of thought too, and that's what helps spur innovation and stuff too, right?
Yes, it is.
So kind of going off like what the county can do more like with our messaging and stuff, but what do you hear, like what are some of the bigger concerns that you hear from companies that they're looking for or might be concerned about?
So the biggest barrier that they want us to help with, and they don't usually think about the fact that we actually have programming to do this, and we happy to share some more, is access to talent.
Okay.
And so there are not enough people to do the work that needs to be done in this country. So we are very fortunate in Fairfax County to have incredible public school system. We work with our public schools to connect them to companies for mentorship and career showcases. We do that for thousands of children a year. We just started this 2 years ago. After that, we keep building and inventing the workforce of the future. We work with over 100 universities and colleges nationally to connect companies to exactly what they need. If a company needs a PhD in a specific area from MIT, we make that happen. We make that happen. We obviously work very closely with Northern Virginia Community College, all of our regional universities and colleges too. And then we go beyond that. We work on upskilling and reskilling through working with our companies. And lastly, what has been really impactful is that we work with our military community. We have an incredible guy in our staff who connects with all the transition in offices globally to make sure that veterans and military families and transition in military know that we are a place where you're valued, and we do impact-driven work in Fairfax County in this region. So we're excited to do all that, and as part of that, the second largest piece, which you are helping to solve, is the transportation infrastructure. And Virginia has been ranking higher and higher in that, in all the national rankings in recent years. But we right here, it's already baked in, and it is an incredible advantage. So companies might talk to us and not realize what we have here. So we try to make sure they come here to see it for themselves.
I was saying just to see it firsthand,
we're going
right?
to go to Metro. They land to Dallas or Reagan, and we take them, and we showcase all the the walking and biking you can do here, and connectivity, and what's in the pipeline for projects in the county for building pedestrian infrastructure. The $100 million program that the county has in the pipeline, for example, benefits plus 50. You want to try transit, you start working with commuter services. So I would say the talent, that also works on the talent, because you having that infrastructure makes it more clear to the company that people will want to live here because they do have this support. And then obviously everything else we have here is the top schools and quality of life unlike any other.
Right, and we were chatting a little bit before this too, that like I had recently met with some local high school students, and I was just blown away by their tenacity to want to pursue things that I didn't even understand until I was in my 20s, and they're only like 16, 17. So it's just crazy to see the next upcoming generation pursuing these big advantageous goals and stuff like this at an early age.
Yeah,
So
and what's really cool too is that when we talk with companies, and we have a huge talent program to attract talent here too, we post all the open jobs in Northern Virginia in our workinnorthernvirginia.com. We've had that about 5 years. Is that we literally are inventing the workforce of the future. It's exactly what you're talking about.
It's the vision, like you were saying earlier.
Right, and we don't even know what the jobs are going to be like in 3 years, and with the emergence of AI and quantum technology. So we are wanting to be the place, and we are where you had a vision decades ago to build the infrastructure when it comes to transportation and digital infrastructure with the advent of internet, and now we're inventing the workforce for you that will take you to space. We'll work on manufacturing in space, like my daughter wants to do.
I'll say you're doing quantum mechanics.
That's right. So it's a very exciting time to be in this county and in this region, and I think we both agree. It's
definitely.
It's very cool.
So we talked a little bit about like kind of touching on larger businesses and companies. I guess what's the EDA do for like startups and smaller, like kind of mom and pop shops?
So those small businesses and startups, entrepreneurs, are the heartbeat of our community, literally. It's over 90% of our companies and businesses here are small, under 50 employees. So they are the core. They're the ones that are holding our community up. So we work with them across multiple partner agencies. We work with county agencies that support small businesses as well, like Department of Economic Initiatives here in the county. We work with our university that have small business services. We have accelerators and incubators we work with. So we really try to hold their hand from the beginning to understand how to connect to the resources for you to start scaling. What our role really is to help companies scale, either through, regulatory assistance or funding and investor relations, or understanding how you can secure shared office space in an accelerator, for example.
So even if they haven't even started up yet, they can come to you guys even beforehand with just like, here's my ideas, here's like my thoughts when I want to get started.
Absolutely.
Right.
So we have an entire team who works on just this. So anytime anybody is even thinking about, I want to start a business and I have no clue.
Right.
I had my own business for about 6 months, so I've been there in the middle of my career. And so they can call us up, look up our website, Fairfax County EDA.org, and connect with any of us, and we will hold your hand. And that is what we do differently than most any other economic development organization in the country. We will be there with you in perpetuity. Whether you are a Fortune 500, whether you're a startup, whether you're a mom and pop, it doesn't matter.
Right. You're
one person shop. We will hold your hand all throughout your journey. And, we do everything in a customized white glove way. One size doesn't fit all.
Right, exactly.
It's the deep listening.
Yeah,
That's what we do.
That's
what we do. Transportation taught me that.
So I'll kind of wrap up a little bit, but I guess, what are you most optimistic for about the future when you look at Fairfax County as a whole?
So there are a couple of things that I think we have in the fabric of this community that are extremely unique. One is our way of pivoting and reinventing. And what I mean by that is, we started as, a farm community. Like
Right.
this was farmland.
Yeah.
We became kind of a bedroom community of the DC area, and now we are a global hub for business, innovation, diversity of thought, the future. I'm going to show you an example. In the last 36 months, we have had over 70 companies that are related to space commercialization and space economy either come here or expand here. We have almost 150 of them. That's incredible. We are in the cusp of being leaders in AI innovation, in quantum technology, in biopharm, biohealth, digital infrastructure. Obviously, we have, that was invented here, and we are in the cusp of that. So with the 20,000 plus tech companies in Northern Virginia, we have over 10,000 of them in Fairfax County. And by companies, I mean they're larger, more than 50 employees.
Right.
So we are in this cusp of really doing work through these sectors, our tech companies, and also our clients that work with government, whether it's federal, state, local, international, to solve some of the biggest problems in the world and in our future. And it is just the most exciting time, I feel like, to be in local government supporting this, from transportation to mobility to economic development. And it's also very interesting because we have to rewrite the playbook. We still have to, really think, how can we move forward with a new mindset when we talk to companies, when we talk to residents, when we talk to people, because what our world is going to look like 3 to 5 years from now is not going to be what it looks like today.
Right.
So I'm very excited about that.
I guess I've always appreciated that as a kind of, I've seen that, I guess, holistically throughout different, parts of the county and departments and stuff, is that forward thinking of, if we're going to be leaders, not just in the region, but like even globally, like what you're saying, like there has to be that constant forward thinking kind of vision.
Yes.
And just constantly rethinking it, right? Too,
and we're very fortunate that we have elected leadership, we have county leadership, we have regional leadership, where it is understood. And even, we have a alliance now in Northern Virginia for economic development. It came together after the Amazon headquarters, the second headquarters was one for the region. And we all understand that for us to build this economy and sustain what we have here today, which is a powerhouse of an economy, we love living here, right? In this region, we need to work together. So that's the other piece I would say, is that, we have started that as a greater Washington region as well. We have the 4th year of hosting the Quantum World Congress here in September, which brings, together 1,500 plus, international participants from 30 plus countries, from Nobel laureates to investors to startups to Fortune 500s. And we're about to do the same thing in space. We have the first Space Next conference in November. And it's also going to be in Tysons, because our community sees the future, and we're ready to invest when others might not be quite there yet. That's why I love working here and living here, is because I feel like we're a step ahead. When nobody else kind of sees it, it's like the best kept secret. And then when the results start showing, it's just everybody's kind of like, what happened? And we're like, it's been in the works. So that's the community mindset, I feel like.
No, I appreciate that, because it's cool hearing it from that. I mean, like at the bottom level like that, that's where it all kind of starts too, right?
Yeah.
So, well, thank you. Thank you so much for coming on today and taking the time to speak with me. So I guess we'll wrap up. But thank you all so much for joining in for another episode of Transportation Talks. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.